Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, A Beautiful View. Hopefully you're joining me for my second video because you watched my first video and enjoyed it or found it informative. As we go along, I'll be doing more and more informative videos on different things. So welcome to my neighborhood, and I hope you enjoy this video. Like I said, a beautiful view. And again, my name is Mel. And so yeah, I know I said I was gonna do the videos a little sooner, but I'm one of those people that sometimes have a lot of things going on, or I have my mind full of a lot of things, and sometimes I'm just not able to do too much of anything. And I want these videos to be, really something enjoyable and positive. And I guess when I'm not feeling extremely positive or not feeling up to my greatest, I am not gonna do videos because I would rather you guys enjoy the video. So I'm sure a lot of you, if you're artists also, you can kind of relate to that. I am kind of an introvert, and I have times where I'm just not real functional. And hopefully you guys can understand that also. So just a little bit more about me out there for you guys, and for you that are introverts and you're artists and you're very very tough on yourself, like me sometimes. The first video I recorded, I'll go ahead and tell you guys now that I recorded it like 10 times and watched it and redid it. But I'm going to get to where I'm not really going to redo them. I'm just going to go with it, whatever it turns out to be. So hopefully you'll enjoy and can relate to me, as I hope to relate to a lot of you and get to know you a little bit better. So like I said, my name is Mel, and I am a tour guide / naturalist. And my channel, if you didn't watch the first one, I'll just kind of go over a little bit about what the channel is going to be like. It's going to be informative. It's going to be about becoming a naturalist. So I've got some information that I'm probably going to put on this video. I'm going to record this part, and then I'll record some information for how you can become a naturalist, where I became a naturalist. I'm going to do some virtual tours. I'm going to do some nature studies. We're going to go out in the field, out in the forest here close by, and identify some things as they come along, some wildflowers, things like that. And just kind of give you guys some support, some emotional support here and there, and share my art and things like that. And I hope you guys will share some things with me also. Just a little bit about becoming a naturalist. Like I said, I went to a place here in the Smoky Mountains called Smoky Mountain Institute of Tremont, and it's a really, really nice facility. They have dormitories, and the way the classes work, and I'm going to give you guys the information on that too. I did kind of look it up and research it, and they are still having the naturalist certification classes. So I'll kind of give you the schedule of that and everything. It's public information, but I'll go ahead and show you all of that. So it was Smoky Mountain Institute at Tremont. And the way the classes work are, you take, I believe it's 8 classes. That's what it was when I went. And there's classes on mammals, reptiles, amphibians, wildflowers, birds, what else? Public speaking, things like that, how to get your naturalist program or tour guide programs together and present them. And so really, really cool program. Like I said, certified southeastern naturalist. There's also naturalist programs all over the United States, including Alaska. There's actually a master naturalist program in Alaska that you can take, but you would have to live there in order to do that, because the classes are really spread out. It works a little different there. Each state has different programs. Texas has a master naturalist program. There's a couple of others throughout the United States that you can find information on. But it's a really cool way to kind of, learn about the area that you're in, or if you plan on going somewhere else and working in a tour guide job or something like that. It's good to know, the area and plants and trees and all kinds of things like that. And like I said, you also do a public speaking class, which was really beneficial for me because, like I said, I'm kind of introverted and I don't do well with one-on-one conversations or talking on the phone to someone or anything like that. But I found that I can actually do pretty good tour guiding because for the way that I do it is I do focus on my guests and everything, but I focus more on what's around me and what I want to tell the guests about, and I get their attention looking that way. And then you're not standing up here with all these people staring at you and, kind of freeze up. And it's bound to happen if you are kind of introverted or shy or whatever, but it doesn't mean that you can't be a really good tour guide. And the first tour guiding job that I was going to take, I thought, oh my gosh, there's no way I could do that. I can't even talk to the neighbors, But I realized once I got there and started talking to people, it was actually fun, and it's not as nerve-wracking or out of your comfort zone as you might think. There are moments when you do kind of almost feel like, oh my gosh, all these people are watching me. What do I do? But you work through it, and you find that everyone out there is super, super nice. I can't say I've never ran into a disgruntled guest, but I've had very, very few guests that were not happy, and they were usually not happy with me. They were unhappy about their situation, their morning. They were on a tour that their wife was making them go on or something like that. They'd rather be on a fishing tour somewhere, fishing and stuff, but their wives drug them on this whale watching tour, and they're not going to see any whales and things like that. You'll run into a few people like that. You'll run into people that will heckle you. They'll ask you a million questions, hoping that you'll get one of them wrong or something like that. But you deal with it, and it's actually just a part of it. And so when I first went to Alaska for my very first job, it was several years ago, and I don't even really know exactly what made me want to get into it. I wanted to go to Alaska because I wanted to see Alaska because I had always seen so many pictures of it, and I loved it, and just in pictures. And it kind of was calling to me. I was like, come to Alaska, come see what I am, what I can offer. And so I started just researching jobs in Alaska, and I came across a website called coolworks.com. And coolworks.com caters to seasonal workers all over the United States, and they actually have a few international jobs on there too, occasionally. But they have jobs all over the United States. They have seasonal jobs. You can be a cook. You can be just all kinds of things. There's just tons of things on there, but it's called coolworks.com, and that's where I got my first job in Alaska. I actually went on there and found a job in Alaska. There were several of them. I had several interviews, and I actually got all of the jobs that I applied for. There was like 5 of them, and I actually had 5 job offers, and it was kind of difficult to decide which one I really wanted to do because I'd never been to Alaska, and I kind of wanted to go where I would be kind of in the middle of the mainland, the main part of the state, the southeast part of the islands, but I wanted to be where I was kind of in the middle of everything. So I found a job in a little town called Healy, working for the Black Diamond Golf Resort. They have golf, they have ATV rides, and a really, really amazing restaurant. Really, really nice place. Really loved it. And Healy was kind of this little remote little town between Anchorage and Fairbanks. So it's kind of not exactly in the middle. It was a little closer to Fairbanks than it was to Anchorage. But I decided on that one. I called the lady and one of the big things was that she actually allowed me to bring my little dog with me, my little dog Shaggy. And so I thought, oh, this one sounds pretty good. So she gave me the job options, that she had there, and there was cook in the restaurant, there was waitresses, there was ATV tour guides, there was all kinds of things. And then she said the one that just struck me. It was a covered wagon horse tour guide. And what it consisted of was I would be out in the pasture at 5:30 in the morning, rounding up my wagon horses for the day. We had a horse wrangler too, and that was the wagon driver, and they would be out there too. And we would round up the horses for the day, whichever team we were going to use. We had Percherons and American Belgians, beautiful horses, 3,000-pound horses. I'm 5'1.5", and these horses were, almost 7 feet tall, some of them. And so it was, it was a little intimidating when I first got there and met the horses because they were so huge, but they were just all such sweethearts. But when she told me about this job, this particular job of horse wrangler, I was like, yes, that's what I want to do. So I took that job, and she sent me a bunch of information on, the flora and the fauna and the tundra and the trees and the flowers and all kinds of things, the animals. And it was just a guideline. And she told me, it wasn't scripted. You can make your own tour. Just make it interesting and talk a little bit about everything. So I sat down with all of that. I had a bunch of books that I had bought, and I just went to town learning everything that I possibly could. At this point, I was not a certified naturalist. I had not gone to my classes or anything. This was just my first job as a tour guide. And so I learned a lot and had all this information. I took tons of stuff with me when I went. We were supposed to have a certified naturalist, Alaskan naturalist, master naturalist come and train us and teach us and, go over things and give us more stuff to talk about and this and that and everything else. Well, I got there, and she had gotten a call the day we were supposed to start training with our naturalists. We were supposed to train with them for a whole week. And ended up, my naturalist didn't show up. He had gotten car trouble, and he was delayed, and he had just finally called and said he wasn't going to be able to make it for our training. So I told Marilyn, the lady who owns the Black Diamond there, I said, I brought all this information. I've learned all this stuff. If you'd like me to, I can kind of help some of the other tour guides and show them some things. So I ended up being the naturalist trainer, if you will. And so that went pretty well. And so I realized that I really loved doing that. And I'm going to go into more depth about the Black Diamond and what I did there and go over like maybe a mock-up tour, a virtual tour of what we did there. Right now I just want to kind of get you into realizing that no matter your skill, no matter your knowledge of things, you can definitely do a seasonal job and be a naturalist. And I'm going to go into a lot more about how to get jobs there and stuff like that too in another video, but I just wanted to kind of get you a little bit more interested in things. So after I did that job for the season, I came back here, and I felt like, I really want to learn more and more about nature. So I ended up getting another job over in, if any of you are familiar with the Smoky Mountains, Tennessee area, Kate's Cove. It's a driving trail. They had just started this program with some trial tour buses, because it's not a tour bus driving thing, but they did get some tour buses. There were 19 passenger vans, and I actually got a job driving one of those and being a trail guide. So I would take people on the trails and identify things that I had studied and knew myself before my naturalist classes. And as I was doing this job, I met a guy from the institute, or the Smoky Mountain Institute at Tremont, and he told me all about the classes and everything like that. And so I decided that I was going to sign up for those naturalist certification classes, and I did. And I learned so much, and it was so much fun. All these people that were interested in the same thing as me, and it was just so cool. It's all hands on. You go out and you catch salamanders, you catch snakes, everything. I mean, you just go out and you get out there in it, and you learn about it hands on, and it's a really amazing class. And it's for 4 days. Mine were for 4 days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they were spread out through the year. And like I said, they have dormitories where you could stay there. I actually lived probably 30 minutes from there, so I decided I was just going to sleep in my truck there. So I just got me a nice little parking place down by the river, and I would spend the night there, and then we would do our classes. And like I said, I'm going to go over more about the information about how they do the classes and everything. But I just, this video, I just kind of want to just put it out there that no matter who you are, no matter what your social skills are, no matter what, you can do a seasonal job somewhere. You can do a tour guiding job in your own area. It's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of really, really nice people. And for the most part, you can do pretty well on tips and things like that. And like I said, it's a good way that if you want to go and see another part of the country, if you want to go to Hawaii, you can find jobs on Cool Works in Hawaii. You can go there. Basically, the only thing you really have to cover, like right up front, is you would have to, buy your own airline ticket to wherever, or get there however. But once you're there, a lot of places, they have housing for people. Sometimes they charge a little bit, a week or a month or whatever, for your housing. Some offer food, so you get meals. You just have to look at each job on there and see which ones offer what. When I went to Healy, I actually lived in a little cabin. It was way out in about 2 or 3 miles off the main road. Little cabin, no electricity, no water. That's another thing too. If you take some of the remote jobs, or some of the jobs in Alaska or some places like that, a lot of them are pretty remote, and sometimes you don't have running water, you don't have electricity, but a lot of them do. I'm not saying all of them are like that, but my job in Healy was that way. I lived in a little cabin, but I was close to a porta potty, so I had that. And then I also supply company shower houses and laundry and things like that. And there are a lot of them. If you really look, there are some that will allow you to bring your pets with you. If you have a dog or cat or something, you want to take it with you. Some of them do allow that. Not all of them, but some do. And so that's what really sold me on the job in Healy, because I could take Shaggy with me. So, but anyway, this is just to let you guys know that no matter, like I said, who you are, what your social skills are, what your knowledge is, what your experience is, you can get a job. And my social skills are not that great, but my tour guiding skills are, because when I do tour guiding, I am there. I just put it in my head that these are all my family members, all my guests are my family members, and I'm just taking them on a nice little tour. And my excitement level is out the roof, especially when I worked in Sitka on a whale watching boat, which I'll do a tour on that also. But I worked in Sitka on a tour boat. My excitement level was just out the roof. I would see a whale and I would just be so excited. It didn't matter if I saw 100 whales in the same day. I was just as excited on the last one as I was on the first one. It's just the way I am, and it's kind of the way you got to be if you're a tour guide, because that just adds to the whole tour. You can't just say, all right, you guys, there's a humpback whale over there. Humpback whales weigh 3,500 pounds or whatever, and they're 1,200 feet long or whatever. I'm exaggerating. But you just, you have to be really excited. You have to be like, oh my gosh, guys, look, there's a humpback whale, look, and just really, really excited in it. And you have to read your guests too. Some of them want to take really good pictures, but they're not doing well with their camera or their phone or whatever. And a lot of things too is knowing how to help people get really good pictures. That's a real plus. If you can help someone get a really, really good picture, it's great. I was working with the humpback whales. They would come within 2, 3, 4 feet of our boat, and they would come right up there to us, and they would go up out of the water, and then back down, and then back up, and then back down, and I could actually listen to their breathing, and I would know when they were actually going to dive and show that fluke. Their tail's just amazing. They all have different tails, but I'm going to go over all that in another video. I'm going to do a whole whale watching tour with you guys virtually. But anyway, so it's if you're going to be a downer, or not excited about things, then maybe you'd be better doing a cook job or ticket sales or something like that. But there's jobs out there for all kinds of people. Like I said, I'm kind of introverted, and I don't do well with one-on-one conversation if I've just met someone. But when you're on a tour like that, like I said, these people, they start to feel like your family, and you're just taking them on a tour, and you get comfortable with them. And I'm not saying there's not those moments where you're standing there going, oh my gosh, all these people are looking at me. What am I going to do? You're thinking all kinds of things about yourself. And so yeah, you'll have those moments no matter who you are, basically. I don't hardly know a tour guide that's never had one of those kind of panicky moments when they realize everybody's looking at them. I know a lot of entertainers, musicians and stuff also that get that every once in a while, and it's completely natural. It's just something that kind of hits you all of a sudden, like, oh my gosh, these people are looking at me. But you get used to that after a while. But back to becoming a seasonal worker, tour guide, naturalist, whatever you want to do. Great job. Absolutely love it. And like I said, it doesn't matter your skill level. As long as you can be cordial to people, friendly to people, and just be able to read people and see whether they're having a good time or whether they need a little bit of extra attention. Sometimes people just need a little bit of extra attention. Like I said, like a man who's on a whale watching tour and would rather be on a fishing boat somewhere. You gotta kind of cater to them and really help them have a good time, and that's part of being a good tour guide. But yeah, so back to the naturalist program. It's a really good way for you to learn the basics of a lot of things. You're not going to be like this super expert on something unless it's something you're really, really interested in and you want to learn extra about it. Or if it's something that you know that people are going to be interested in that some of the other tour guides might not know, or they might not learn somewhere else. Especially if you're doing a tour, say on a whale watching boat, people are going to learn so much. They're going to hear so much information that they're going to get off of there and they're not going to know anything because they heard too much. So you got to kind of spread it out. You got to make it interesting too. And so that's a big thing is learning some extra stuff that you don't think a lot of people know. Some really cool little facts and things that are pretty cool, like for instance, like puffins. Puffins were something that I absolutely love, and so I just learned everything I could possibly learn about puffins, and just did a lot of research on them, and ended up, I got on a boat with a captain that asked me what I knew about birds and puffins and things like that. I learned a lot about birds too, because a lot of tour guides don't know a lot about birds, and I learned that when I was in Healy, that most tour guides don't know much about birds. So I learned a lot about birds, and seabirds. and things like that. And so when I told him, yeah, I know a lot about birds, I know a lot about puffins, and he said, well, I'm gonna take you out to this special island that I don't take most tour guides out there to it because they don't know anything about birds or puffins or anything like that. And they get out there and it's just silent because they don't know what to talk about. But he said, since you know about that, I'm going to take you out there. And I'm so happy that I did because it was an amazing place. It was so wonderful. But I'm going to take you guys to on a tour for that later on. But we went out there, and I tell you what, the people loved it. I told them all kinds of things about puffins, and but not overload. You don't want to overload somebody with it, but I want to be able to answer questions too. But one of the things that I talked about with puffins is that they actually burrow into the rock, and it's a really interesting story. It's a really interesting thing what they do. It's a really interesting fact. I guess I should say not a story, but a fact. It's a really cool fact about puffins, and they're super interesting, and we'll go into that later. But just have a lot of information for people. But don't overload them with information because they're learning so much. They're on so many tours that they're just in overload, So and when you're viewing the animals or you're viewing the whales or whatever, don't talk over the experience. Let these people enjoy it, and you enjoy it too. You just your excitement is like, oh, it's a whale. Because if you're talking and somebody turns around to see what you're saying and the whale jumps completely out of the water and breaches, and they miss it, they're going to be a little bit upset that they turn around to look at you talking and they missed a breaching whale. So you want to kind of not talk over the experience at the time. So that's just a few pointers on it. But the actual naturalist certification process is something that I'm going to go over in the next video. I was actually going to do it on the end of this one, but I'll do it in a separate video, and I'll get out all the paperwork and things like that, show you things that I learned, and go over the scheduling and all that kind of stuff if anybody's interested in that. And then from there on, like I said, I'll try to record more often. I will inevitably have a little bit of time here and there where I'm just not able to. And I hope you guys can all understand that, which I think most people in the world can. Like I said, this is all new to me. This is a new type channel for me. I've done, little virtual tour guides with just or tours with just my camera, and just walked through like the Grand Canyon and talked about things in the Grand Canyon, read the plaques, did little things like that. But I've never done a facing the camera kind of thing like this. And so I hope, and you'll hear the noises you hear on my videos. It's I live here with my mom and my sister, and they like to watch a lot of movies and things like that. So I think they're watching some kind of scary movie right now. They're like disaster movies and scary movies, and I think they're watching Plague or something right now. I don't know, but you'll hear that from time to time. So not a soundproof room here, but anyway, it's okay. So I guess that's it for now. I don't want to run over too long. I just wanted to give you a few tips and some information and just a little bit more about myself, because that's part of it too. I want you guys to know me, and like I said, I like to know some of you guys also. And so hopefully we can connect, and you guys will find something enjoyable with my videos. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Just keep breathing and keep looking for a beautiful view wherever you go, whatever you do. Look for that beautiful view, because there's 9 times out of 10 there's going to be something really beautiful for you to view and enjoy, and just hang in there in the world. I know that a lot of people having a lot of troubles right now, and it's a strange time in our world, but just keep breathing and look for that beauty. And to me, you are all a beautiful view. And I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for joining me, and I'm not going to say if you liked it, but a thumbs up or anything like that. If you liked it, a thumbs up. So, like I said, I'll get better and better at this, and I hope you guys will join me. Thank you so much for being here.